So welcome to the official Comfortable Shoes album release party. We are going to get right started, all right? The first tune on the album is called, what do you know, Comfortable Shoes. We're going to take a listen. It goes like this.
White to gray, the tongues are tearing in two. I wouldn't trade them, never replace them, I never could. Oh, they look so old and ragged, but feel so good right to my heart. I can't walk very far in them, I'm afraid they'll fall apart. They need protection, their imperfections need to be safe. Now I tread lightly, make no big advances. Oh, I tiptoe around in my comfortable shoes. There's no need for me to take too many chances. Nothing to hope for, 'cause then I've got nothing to lose. I'm chilling out in my comfortable shoes. I used to lace up all the new styles. I would wander far and wide, but I just ended up with blisters. I wonder why I ever tried. Keep to myself now, have no regret now, safe from the storm. The gravel roads and twisted pavement, trudging through the rocks and rain, have beaten up this pair so much. Anymore I would be insane. Stay out of the weather, keep it together, high and dry. So now I tread lightly, make no big advances. Oh, I tiptoe around in my comfortable shoes. No need for me to take too many chances. Nothing to hope for, 'cause then I got nothing to lose. I'm chilling out in my comfortable shoes.
right. That is the first tune off the album, Comfortable Shoes. And we are going to bring in some of the guys that worked on that. First of all, Mr. Jerry Lopez in the house. What's going on, Jerry?
Hey everybody, what's going on, Jamie? Great song, man. Love
Thank
that
you.
song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We also have Dave Richardson with us. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Jamie. Hey, Jerry.
David?
And we've got another David. We have David Inamine in the house. David, what's going on?
Hey, everybody. Everybody.
Hi,
Hey,
David.
Jerry. Hey,
Hey,
Dave.
David.
All right. So, all right, a little background on this song, you guys. First of all, the writing of this song took me quite a while. I don't know. The idea was sparked by the song is about getting out of one's comfort zone, right? Getting out and trying new things, and not being afraid, right? Not being afraid to try something and fail at it. And so the lyric was really the whole thing that took me the longest. And so I would just sit at the piano, kind of bang out some chords, and once I had the melody and I had the structure and sort of the foundation of how I wanted the melody to go, it took me a while to get the lyrics right. And then when I figured out I kind of want this to be kind of a Steely Dan-ish type of thing, I started assembling the track. And once I had a basic idea, I actually put a bass track down myself, and then I had to bring in Dave Inamine, who's here. He called me one day. We were in the middle of the first lockdown, and he calls me, and Dave, what did you say to me?
Hey, man, give me something to do. Anything. Right?
He's like, man,
You know,
you got anything that needs bass? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. So
Yeah.
Dave came in, and I gave him my rough bass track. I had put down the bass track, and so Dave came back. It gave me a real bass track, like with a real tone, right?
the worst thing to hear is a naked bass.
Yeah. Well, here
I love it.
I'll add some drums, right?
There you go.
Right? And then here's some Rhodes. And then I had this idea, this melody popped into my head for the intro. And so this recurring melody. So that melody kind of popped into my head, and I used that a couple of times. But then what happened, by the time we got to the second chorus, we got through the second chorus, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to use that melody a third time. I realized we need like a little bit of a guitar solo there. And so I called Jerry Lopez. And honestly, just about all the people you're going to meet today, a lot of them you probably already know, but all of these people are people that I know because of Jerry Lopez. We've been working together almost 20 years now, and he was the reason that I started, he hired me, asked me to join the band Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. And the Clint Holmes show at Harrah's is really because of him. And so all these people I've gotten to meet and work with really goes back to Jerry Lopez. So when it came time, I needed guitar. So I needed this. And it's like the perfect part for that point in the song. He just nailed it. It's perfect. And then he gave me like 3 or 4 takes, any of which I could have used in that spot. I chose that one. I was gonna use some of them on the end, but at the end of the day, I decided to keep with the saxophone licks on the end. So Jerry, thank you for playing that, man. It's perfect.
Oh, my pleasure, man. That's how we do it around here, right? We help each other with music, and I love that song from the first time that you played me the very first demo of it, and I mean the groove and the melody, it's all great. The lyric is really important,
Right.
and I
Thank
love
you.
the lyric. Uh, as far as the solo goes, well, you know, that just called for a little bit of taste, man. Something understated and simple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That anything else wouldn't have done. I just don't feel. But listen, why don't you talk the lyrics for us? Because you know what I'm saying? It's such a
Okay.
cool tune. We can get lost in the groove, but speak the lyrics to us, because
So the lyric, okay, yeah. So the lyric, it's interesting because the first iteration of the chorus, now I tread lightly, make no big advances. So it's like the singer is saying, I'm not, I've tried this before. I'm not going out there anymore. I'm staying in my little cubby, in my little circle. And my first iteration of the chorus was eggshell shoes. Like I have to go easy. I've got to tread lightly. So I'm going to walk like I have eggshell shoes on. And I messed around with that for a while, but at the end of the day, I realized walking on eggshells has a totally different connotation than what I was trying to talk about, right? So I had to come up with a different thing, and I realized comfortable shoes, that's what I'm trying to say, right? And, you know, I tried to make the metaphor of me going for these long walks, and I've really broken in these shoes to the fact that they're so comfortable that they're falling apart, right? And then finally, when the song gets to the bridge, it takes a musical turn. Like it changes keys for a minute, makes an obvious left, and that's where I start to say, well, wait a minute. What if all of this that's been going on in my head is just illusion? What if it's just something I made up? What if, okay, I tried something in the past, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, a new job, or I tried some endeavor and I failed, right? I got burned. But what if that's okay, right? What if I try it again and just go after it again? What if it's all just something that I made up in my head? And so the singer finally says, time to move forward, make some advances, because I've been tiptoeing around in my comfortable shoes, right? It's time for me to start taking some chances.
yep.
Nothing to hope, so much to hope for. I really got nothing to lose. It may be a
Right.
dangerous world. I'll take the risk. It's time that I light that fuse. I'm stepping out of my comfortable shoes.
Yeah,
So,
love it.
you know, and honestly,
Yeah.
I went round and round with that. Like, should I change it or do I just stay in that's it, I'm staying in my comfortable shoes? And I think I asked you that and you were like, man, you got to go there.
Yeah, because that's really that's life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That is the essence of life. And there's not that there's anything wrong with sitting in your comfortable shoes, but the real living, the real life, the real essence of life is stepping out of comfortable shoes into uncharted territory, right? Into unknown things and taking chances. And so, yeah, that to me, that speaks to me. Yeah, love
Awesome.
that.
See that? Jerry Lopez, the wisdom giver, right?
Amen.
Philosopher.
The philosopher, exactly. So Dave, I always heard horns on this song, and I kind of tried as we were putting it together, as I was putting the whole thing together, I tried to come up with some ideas, and nothing was coming to me that I was satisfied with. So I reached out to you, and you graciously said, yeah, I'd love to do a horn arrangement on this. So take us into what that process is like for you.
Well, the first thing is to listen to the song a bunch and just don't even try to hear anything right away. Just listen to what is there. And I like to think when I work on an arrangement for someone else's song, the first rule of thumb is first do no harm. You know, you might have all these great ideas, but the first, you want the original song to just stand on its own. And so that's the first thing I think of is don't write anything that's going to take away from what you have. You just want, little places to spice it up. You had mentioned that you were thinking kind of a Steely Dan sort of vibe, and I heard that, when I heard the song.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, the approach that I took. It's, the groove is paramount, the lyrics are paramount, and so I tried to just find ways to sort of work around the vocal line a little bit, and and do things that would accentuate the groove and just some little pops here and there.
Yeah. So like here's kind of one of the main motifs. On the chorus. It's just so great. And then one of my favorite licks that you did is at the end here. This is the bridge. It's coming up on the last chorus. Here, I'll put Phil's. Put his tenor in. Right here. That's so cool. That's like,
thanks.
Well,
Very
what's
cool.
awesome is right when you think it's going to be the same as the last couple of times we've heard it, it changes. So it's so great. And then, all right, so then, what I did a few rhythm guitars on this song. I did right at the top and on kind of the pre-chorus, I did these. And that's basically two guitars, just single note. And I did some acoustic. And as you can hear, my acoustic guitar playing is not great. So,
Sounds good to me.
You just kind of tuck it in there. And then the other guitar that I did was this little phase guitar on the second half of each verse.
I can't walk very far.
And that's pretty much, other than some little percussion things, I did a little shaker. I did a little tambourine on the bridge, which goes like that. Pretty simple. With Dave Inamine's bass and Jerry's lead guitar and Dave's horn arrangement, it brought the whole thing to life.
I was gonna say, Dave always follows the musical Hippocratic oath, right?
Do no harm.
Yeah.
Do no harm.
Do no
That's
harm.
basically
Do no harm,
that's
yeah.
what Dave was saying.
Yeah.
So, hey man, I appreciate you guys coming on here and sharing that. Dave Inamine, you're gonna come back later, right? We got another.
Yeah, I tell you, Jamie, this is so great. in a very stripped down way. So to hear the evolvement of it, because believe it or not, I spent maybe a week walking every day, listening to your demo as I was going through some different ideas. So this is, the whole comfortable shoes thing is kind
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know,
You got to have your
kind of
comfortable
came
shoes
full.
on to go for walks like that. So
Right. Yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, well, I thank you guys. You guys are so special to me. So Dave Inamini, I'm going to have you sign back in later, right? We'll talk to you
Okay.
again
Yep.
later. Jerry and Dave Richardson, thank you guys. I love you both so much.
See you guys later.
All right.
Great
You too,
CD,
man.
everybody. Pick it
Right
up,
on.
get it,
Awesome job,
download
Dave.
it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so now we're gonna move ahead. Song number 2. I was gonna have Rob Hyatt on. He did the string arrangement on this next tune, but it has a Zoom call at 5:30, so I don't think he's gonna make it. But I'm gonna invite Jerry Jones to come on, and this is called Paradise.
Time flown, two was one. The fiber of a heart undone. So much has changed, yet everything's the same. Same words, same lines. A promise spoke 1,000 times, yet it hurts to even speak your name. Lost, found, lost again. I don't remember how or when, but somewhere on the road we lost our way. Same but different dreams to share, a lifetime between here and there, and here we are with little left to say. We all believe in paradise and making dreams come true. Just like I dreamed that paradise was living life with you. But now my eyes are open wide. Finally I see that paradise is where you are, instead of here with me. Secret life, secret one, fully known, but half begun, aching so to make the dream be true. Cannot leave, cannot stay, wanting so to run away, afraid to just embrace a life with you. We all believe in paradise and making dreams come true, just like I dreamed that paradise was living life with you. But now my eyes are open wide. Finally I see that paradise is where you are, instead of here with me. Never ask, never tell, thinking that it's just as well to swallow all the feelings deep inside. It's easier to stay the course, no hurt feelings, no remorse. Never let them see the pain you hide. We all believe in paradise and making dreams come true, just like I dreamed that paradise was living life with you. But now my eyes are open wide. Finally I see that paradise is where you are, instead of here with me.
All right, so that is a song called Paradise. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can get this other screen going here. I'm going to bring a couple people in here. We got Jerry Jones and we have Mr. Rob Hyatt. Are you guys both here?
We are here.
I'm here.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know we have Jake Langley. I see you in the green room. I see you, Jake. You're going to be coming on in a couple tunes. I'm so glad you could be here, Jake. And thinking about you, man. All right, so let me see here. Come on now. There we go. Okay. So,
Hey,
yeah, there we go. So, Jerry Jones is the bearded mountain man in the middle, everybody. And he is the co-writer of this song with me. And Rob Hyatt is the one who did the string arrangement, that beautiful string arrangement that we're going to go through. Rob, I'm glad. I thought we were going to miss you. So did your Zoom call get delayed?
No, I just told him I was going to be late. is all.
Oh, you're awesome.
oh, what am I?
So, Jerry Jones, this song was birthed by your lyric.
Yeah, I feel like this was our Elton John, Bernie Taupin moment because it went down exactly the way they do things. We were working on another song that was finally almost ready to be recorded, I think. But during those sessions, I had a lyric that I'd written years and years and years ago. At a time where I was going through a little bit of pain and a little breakup, things like that. But we all go through them. And I was looking through some old snippets of things, and I came across it. It was like this fully complete realized lyric, and I read through it, and I thought, wow, this is a pretty accurate picture of where I was back then. And I thought, you know what? I just brought it with me. And we were sitting in your studio at the piano, and I said, take a look at this. I had a little rough idea of maybe a form and a feel, but that was really it. And this is one of those times because I think the whole session took 2.5, 3 hours at the most. And by the time that session was done, this song had pretty much happened.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Jamie, I can't give enough props to him because he just immediately felt the feel and the little piano intro, the little haunting intro. And I'm still staggered every time I hear that bridge. The bridge of the song to me is just genius that Jamie did. And it just really, really came to life.
The bridge came out nice. The thing about when you have a lyric, the thing that makes it easier to write music to it is that you have a syntax and a rhythm for the most part kind of figured out, right? So you kind of, sometimes you'll know, like, I want time flown to was one, fiber of the heart undone, like that. You kind of have a rhythm idea in mind, and that makes it a lot easier when you know a tempo and kind of, how the train's gonna move, right?
Right. And that's a fine line to walk because I never want to hamstring
Right.
the person who's got the daunting task of putting these thoughts and rhymes to music. So I always come in with just a sketch, but I really leave a lot of leeway for. Rob knows he and I have written tons of things and are writing still, and so it's I never want to get in the way. Whatever serves the song the best, whatever serves the lyric best, is what I'll always defer to.
That's awesome. And then, so we made a little piano and vocal demo, and then you sent it to Rob, Rob, by the way, Rob and Jerry have a jazz vocal group called Fifth Avenue, and but there's only 4 people, so I'm still confused about that.
It's all right, Jamie.
Fifth Avenue, but you guys,
we get that a lot.
I've had the pleasure of getting to sing with them on occasion, and it's always incredibly challenging, but incredibly rewarding. Rob does these amazing vocal arrangements. He's the mad evil genius, and so we sent you, Rob, the demo, piano and vocal, and you came up with this beautiful string arrangement. So tell us kind of about how that happened, and we're gonna solo some of the strings for everybody.
It was an interesting thing to have happen because Jerry and I have been writing songs for years and years and years. And then to have basically a finished product show up that you guys had done, I thought, wow, this is something that I've never come at after the fact like this.
Interesting.
This
Right.
beautiful song, this haunting thing. You guys already made the dough and baked the cake, and all it needed was a little frosting. So it was really fun to listen to it. And Jerry said strings. Did you say you wanted like a string quartet, Jerry, at the time when you
At
first
the
brought
time,
it
I
up?
said, yeah, I thought all I heard on this, and I told Jamie even at the time, even at the session was being written, I said, man, I hear vocal, piano, string quartet, and maybe that's about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
and that was spot on. There was no room in that song for a string section. It was just little. It just needed to have some players that were in this tiny little space with us in this song. So it was so much fun because I hardly ever get to write for a string quartet. It doesn't come up. And the chance to just
Well,
have 4 notes playing cool things together on top of what you had already done was a great
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. Well, so when I decided I was going to record this song, we finally got to hear the string arrangement when we went in. There's a great event here in Las Vegas called the Composer Showcase. And when we
Yeah.
finally got the string arrangement back from Rob, man, we're like, let's do this. Can we get some violin players? And Keith Thompson, who does the Composer Showcase, is like, yeah, I'll get a quartet. So we performed it, me playing piano and singing, and with the string quartet. And man, it was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous. It really was.
It was so beautiful that when it came around to, wow, I'm going to put this on the record, I'm like, I have to put real strings on it. So I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it with samples, with a keyboard. I was like, man. So it's the only thing that on the record that I went into an actual recording studio here in town for. And what happened is, they came in, and these players are just so good. And I told the engineer, Josh Connolly, I said, let's do 3 passes. A lot of times you do a pass, and then you do another pass, you layer that, and then you do a third, and it gets this real thick, nice string sound. That was kind of what I figured we'd do. And I got all those tracks back, and when I got into mixing, I was like, the stack of all of these strings, it's too much for the song. So I ended up using the first pass, and
Right.
and that's what we ended up using. So they sound like this. So the way they were mic'd was there was a mic on each. There was a mic on violin 1, a mic on violin 2, a mic on the viola, and the mic on the cello. And that's what this is. Okay, so that's the direct mic, and then there's also a room mic. That's a stereo room mic. It just has a little bit of less of a attack.
Mm-hmm.
So when you mix those together, and then they have a nice little soli coming up here. Right, so that's that, and then it just came out so great. And
It
then
was just the right touch.
It's just the right amount, right? So then we got done with the strings. They kind of knocked it out in about an hour and a half. And I was looking at this Steinway sitting there in the piano, and I paid for 4 hours.
Right.
And so I said, Josh, to the engineer, I said, how long would it take you to mic up that piano and me to do a couple piano passes? Because I had a piano down, but it was a decent sounding piano from one of my libraries here at the house. But nothing replaces a real piano. And Josh said, "Oh, give me a couple minutes." And so we went in and we did some piano. The thing about a real piano, there's a resonance and a sustain that you still can't duplicate with samples.
Yeah.
Right? It's still, we're getting close with software. And then all that was left for me was to, it's easier to stay the course. To do a vocal. No hurt feelings, no remorse. Never let them see the pain you hide. So, Rob, thank you for that beautiful arrangement. Jerry, man, Thank you for the amazing lyric. And it's so cool when there's like all these pieces to a puzzle, right?
Right.
To put together.
When it comes together, it's
and
so
it only
gratifying.
sounded like it did because those cool chords you made, those gave it room. Because you can write strings to a 3-chord song and it just doesn't come out like that.
Yeah.
It's just because it was so interesting to start with that it gave room for these haunting things to happen on top of it. It was so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was amazed sitting there as Jamie was coming with these amazing changes and spots and leading into the bridge and those, almost Billy Joel-esque changes in a couple spots. Just really cool stuff.
Thank you guys so much. Well, Rob, I'm going to let you go to your Zoom. I hope it's a productive and whatever it is, I hope it's great. And Jerry, you're going to come back a little bit later.
Yes.
Because there's another song we co-wrote. So you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh,
you guys,
thank
Jamie.
you,
You guys are awesome. All right.
Have fun.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Man, this is so much fun, you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this. So I still have Jake Langley. He's watching from the virtual green room. He's going to be joining us coming up really, really soon with another couple of special guests. So the third song on the album, called Can't Stop Thinking About You. And we're going to listen to that right now. If you guys don't have headphones or earbuds, you should try to put some in, or at least good speakers.
Ambient sounds of the coffee crowd filled the room, filled the room. I looked around and my jaw hit the ground when I saw you, yeah, I saw you. I was sipping my chai tea as you danced on by me and said hello. Yeah, you said hello. Latte on your lips, that red dress on your hips, then you were gone. Oh, you were gone. I can't stop thinking about you. Can't get you out of my head. This beautiful picture inside of my brain, my angel in red. I can't stop thinking about you. I've got to see you again. I need to look into your eyes, but until then, I can't stop thinking about you. night. I think that it might just be real. It's real. How else can I explain this emotional flame that I feel? I feel it's how with every breath, every beat of my chest, I long for you. I long for you. I don't know your name. I feel this love just the same. I belong with you. I belong with you. I can't stop thinking about you. Can't get you out of my head. This beautiful picture inside of my brain, my angel in red. I can't stop thinking about you. I've got to see you again. I need to look into your eyes, but until then, I can't stop thinking about you. I've never felt like this before. You've turned my heart into an open door. You're under my skin, you're into my soul. I'm losing my mind, completely out of control. Baby, baby, I can't stop thinking about you. Can't get you out of my head. A beautiful picture inside of my brain, my angel in red. I can't stop thinking about you. I've got to see you again. I need to look into your eyes, but until then, I can't stop thinking about you. Can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking. But until then, I can't stop thinking about you. I need to see you, yeah. Stop thinking about you. I need to look into your eyes. But until then, can't stop thinking about you.
All right, so that is Can't Stop Thinking About You. And that song, you know, when I wrote that, it was kind of a bit of a writing exercise. I really wanted to try to paint a story, right? Kind of paint a picture. And so I had this song kind of floating around for a while. And it really started, it started with that motif. I don't know if you can even hear this piano. It started with that whole motif. And when I decided I was going to put it on the album, I wanted to give some of this stuff a vintage vibe, right? Obviously. So I kind of wanted to give this kind of an 80s synth vibe. So with the drums, you kind of have a bit of an old school kind of vibe. And I kept it pretty simple. On the chorus, the only thing I did, let's see, I added a tom. Like that. But they're pretty simple. The drums are kept simple. I did add, later on in the song, I added some hand claps over here. But it's pretty simple. And I went with synth bass. And that's my Rhodes. It's my Rhodes over there. And I added some acoustic. And then really what I wanted to do was have some old sounding vintage synths. So the first thing I came up with was that thing in the intro. It sounds like this. And then this other layer comes in. Right, so it's kind of got this old kind of synth vibe from, late 70s, early 80s. And then when the chorus hits, there's this little pad sound that you can kind of barely hear. I'll put the piano and the Rhodes in with it. Right, here, I'll just solo it because it's kind of like, it's one of those sounds that you only kind of hear it if you take it out. You don't really notice it's there. And then I brought these other synths back in. Right, so I wanted it to have that kind of synth vibe, and they kind of progressively get a little busier. The second chorus.
Jewel and red. I can't stop thinking about you. I've got to see you again. I need to look into your eyes.
So getting those to all work together kind of took a lot of the right panning and automation, and so they kind of stay out of the way of each other. So, and then let me just quickly show you. So I had John Wiedemeyer, who is an amazing guitar player. I asked him if he could play something on this, and immediately he was right on the same page. So here's what he did on the first verse.
Me and said hello. Yeah, you said hello. Latte on your lips, that red dress on your hips, then you were gone.
Just perfect parts. Right? And then in the second verse, we did kind of like what we call a noodle track, where you kind of do some licks in between the vocal. And I said, just do a bunch of them. Do a bunch of them. If it's too much, it's okay. So,
love at first sight. I think that it might just be real. It's real.
Little licks like that.
How else can I explain this emotional flame that I feel? And how with every breath, every beat of my chest, I long for you. I long for you. I don't know your name. I feel this love just the same. I belong with you. I belong with you. I can't stop thinking about you. Can't get you.
So that added so much to the song. And then all I needed to do at that point, after I had, most of these tunes I started with a scratch piano, a metronome, and a vocal. So I played piano, and I sang to a click. And then I added drums. I added a basic drum track. And after we got John's guitar, I was like, all right, I gotta move to background vocals, because the background vocals, needed to be, they need to stay out of the way. But like everything else, like Dave Richardson was talking about with horn arrangements, they need to be complementary. So I started out here at the end of the first chorus, doing something very simple.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've got to see you
First time they come in.
again. I need to look into your eyes, but until then, can't stop thinking about you.
Right, and that's just, those are like mainly some triads and the 2-part breaking into a 3-part. And then, you sing each part like maybe 3 times, and you end up with that. And then I built it a little bit.
I need to look into your eyes, but until then.
Right, so I added, let me see, where are the ahs? I added, on the second chorus, just to give it a little something different when it went into that. And then it even built a little more from there.
I need to look into your eyes, but until then, can't stop thinking about you.
And it kind of went to the outro.
Can't stop thinking about you. No, I can't stop thinking into your eyes, but until then, can't stop thinking about you.
And that's it. Just have the background vocals hopefully make the lead vocal even stronger, right? And complement the whole thing. So that's it. That's Can't Stop Thinking About You. The writing process of that, like I said, it was really kind of a writing experiment. I had this idea for this story, and it took me a while to kind of get the storyline right, try to get the imagery in my head. And so it's probably the most, probably the most pop song on the record. But I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So Jake Langley, who's in the green room, after I got one more song to do, and then we're bringing on Jake Langley. We're bringing on Ronnie Foster. We're going to bring on Roshan Westmoreland, and we're going to get to chat with them a little bit. But this song first, before that, this is called Lost in the Rain. It goes like this.
Pools of raindrops growing deeper. Water seeps into my shoes. As my world falls down around me, I'm soaked to the bone and feel like a fool. I thought that we would last forever. A mighty fortress made of stone. But this empire quickly crumbled. Now my heart beats all alone. Love has flown from your eyes. Now all I see is goodbye. Crying out your name. I am lost in the rain. Without you I'm lost in the rain. Watch the storm foam on the horizon. I shrugged off the urgency. When the lightning finally struck down, it was far
That is Lost in the Rain. And I am seeing your comments, you guys. There's a lot of things going through my mind. And so, but I am seeing your comments. Thank you for the comments. Keep them coming. Somebody just asked, what is the point of, the comments kind of fly by quick. It is tough to keep up. But somebody just asked, what's the point of putting something in this ear, in that ear? So the point of that is you're trying to create sort of a bigger sound, a wider sound. And also, if you put things all in the middle, they start competing with one another. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish between two different instruments. Now, there is another philosophy there, because the original Beatles mixes were all done in mono. There was no left and right. It was mono. Everything was in the middle. And they still sound amazing. So there is something to be said for mono, but pretty much everything nowadays is done in stereo. So we separate things to kind of give things some space, right? You can think of a mix as you've got left and right, and then you also have front to back. You can bring things out front of the mix by turning up the level or keeping them dry without any reverb. And you can push things back in the mix by bringing the level down or adding some more reverb or ambience. And there's also sort of like up and down as well. Things with a higher frequency content are going to appear to be literally higher, and lower frequency content is going to appear to be lower. So you kind of can get, the goal is to try to get this kind of spatial thing going on. So with Lost in the Rain, obviously this is a song about a relationship gone sour, right? And I was trying to paint that picture with the rain, pools of raindrops growing deeper. Water seeps into my shoes. This is guy, standing in a puddle of rain. So obviously this song was really written at the piano. When I decided to record it like this, I started again, piano, metronome, vocal, get the right tempo. The whole thing for me is the tempo and the instrumentation has to fall around the vocal and the lyric. And if I get that right, everything else kind of comes together. So the drums are very simple. And by the way I did these drums, I have a program called Superior Drummer 3, and the drums really sound amazing. I didn't have the budget to go into a real studio and record a drummer. So you call up this program and you literally play the sound on the keys like this. And that's the way I did it. And then you can go in and edit and fine tune. So the drums. And then I had to overdub these big toms. Right, they come in a little bit more later on. So I did those kind of as an overdub because I wanted kind of those big kind of Beatles toms. And then, the piano was me trying to keep it simple. And then I played some bass. And on this one, I actually did use my B3, which is sitting over there. And that sounds like this. It's the first chorus. And then the second verse comes in, and I added a Wurlitzer over to the right. And then at this point in the song, it's the second verse. And when it comes up on the second sort of end of the verse, I felt like it needed a little something extra. So I added these backgrounds. Oh, let me solo those so you can hear them. It's like this. Acoustic guitars.
Love has flown from your eyes. I am lost in the rain. Nothing but a dream. I am lost
Right?
in the rain.
And then another set of vocals comes in.
Love has flown from your eyes.
And that's pretty much, that's most of the instrumentation. It's acoustic piano, Wurlitzer, B3, an acoustic guitar, and then of course the drums and bass. And the only other background part, I added this other part at the end.
Lost in the rain.
And so that's it's basically three-part harmony. And I probably sang each part 4 times to stack them up, spread them around. But that's pretty much it. I had a lot of fun actually doing this. So I don't know. That's Lost in the Rain. Yeah, it is. The gospel choir is that was kind of the intent. I wanted to give it a bit of that feel, but also give it a little bit of a sad feel too, because of the nature of the tune. All right, we're moving on. All right, we got some guests coming up here. This is a song called "The Answer." This is a song I wrote several years ago and recorded with Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. And so I did a different take for this version. So we're going to listen to it first, and then Roshan and Ronnie Foster, come on in, man. Click those links and come on in so we can chat with all you guys. And Jake's already here, so we're going to chat with him. Talk to you guys in a second. This is The Answer.
There's an ever-flowing river that will never run dry. The more you drink from the water, its power is magnified. It's been said 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. Though we try to complicate it, the simple truth remains. Oh, the simple truth remains. Love is always the answer. watch the ripples grow. The more you give, the more you get. A never-ending stream. Yes, it's too simple to understand, y'all. Exactly what this means. Don't you understand what this means? Oh, love is always the answer. That's never gonna change. It's always the answer, because love will conquer all. Anytime you feel lost and out of touch, and none of your answers can be found, oh, just go on down. I sit down to the river. Look inside, oh, drink it up. There's plenty to go around. Hey, hey, yeah. Love is always the answer. That's never gonna change. It's always the answer, because love will conquer all. Love is the answer. Don't you know? Yeah. So love is the answer. Yes, it is. It's always the answer. Every time. Always the answer. Go on down to the river. Go down to the river.
All right. That is the answer. All right. We're going to bring in some folks here. This is Mr. Jake Langley. What's going on, Jake?
Hey, Jamie, nice to see you and hear you. That's such a killer track, man. I love that tune, man.
Man.
That was so much fun.
And we got Roshan
There
Westmoreland
he
in the
is.
house.
What it is, people.
Now we did a test with Ronnie earlier today, and it was all good. I don't know what happened to him. So hopefully we're gonna get Ronnie Foster coming, because he's the one that played that B3, not me. So hopefully he's gonna join. But I am so glad you guys are on. So all right, let's go through the process. I wrote this song. Man, it's been a while. So I wrote this song starting at the B3. When I first bought that B3, I remember sitting back there, and I was like, man, I gotta record this. Oh, here comes Ronnie. Here we go. There we go.
Am I here?
Ronnie Foster's in the house.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, how you doing?
Hey.
Okay, so yes, comfortable shoes. So I remember sitting at the B3 when I first got it. I put some mics on it. I'm like, let me see how this thing records. And I came up with a little motif, and I ended up writing the song, The Answer. And when I got around to doing it for this album, I wanted to do something different, because it's very different on the Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns version. So again, I started with piano, metronome, get the tempo right, get the feel right. Then I went back, added these, started getting these drums, right? Just getting a vibe. And then when I got, piano was really different when I started. But when I got a piano and a drum track and a vocal that I was fairly happy with, I sent it on to Roshan, who just, I mean, I mean, the whole thing, like, it just friggin',
It's dancing.
right? Oh yeah. Right? It's just nice and slanky. So I mean, that was like perfect. So if you guys don't know, let me introduce these guys. First of all, Roshan Westmoreland, I get to play with him every Monday in Santa Fe in the Fat City Horns. He is like one of the greatest bass players in the world.
Easy.
I'm telling you, man, it's the truth. I need to get rid of this window. Hold on for a second. Oh no, hold on. Hold on. I might need Kavanaugh's help now because I think I got to get you guys back. Oh, hold on, I got it. I know what to do. There we go.
There
Okay.
it is.
Okay, so Roshan's played with everybody. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And if anybody has ever heard him take a bass solo in one of our shows, he brings the house down. So
Yes, sir.
it was the perfect choice for this tune. Then we've got, okay, Jake Langley. Jake, I've known you since, what year did you come to Vegas?
Oh, 2014? Is that about right? 2015? Yeah, 2014.
Okay. And immediately started, getting all the gigs in town because, I mean, you would come off the road with Joey DiFrancesco. You were on the road with him for like, how many, 5-6 years?
Yeah, about 6 years, yeah.
Joey DiFrancesco is kind of a legendary Hammond B3 player, also a great piano player. And are you in Canada right now, Jake?
I am.
You are. You're up there in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. How's the weather up there?
not so good.
It's cold, right? It's cold.
It's pretty miserable. Yeah, it's a bit of a shift. Yeah, it's not so good.
But the other thing about Jake is if you're at like a session with him and he's got his guitar and he's got his amp and someone's like, man, you know what? Man, I could really use some lap steel. Well, all of a sudden you turn around and Jake pulls out a lap steel. He's like, wait, I got that. Oh, I'll play that. Or, hey, how about a mandolin? Oh, I got a mandolin. Let me play that. Do you want some banjo too? Like anything with strings, Jake plays it. It's amazing. Dobro, whatever. If it's got strings, he plays it. So when I sent this track to Jake, he sent me 2 tracks back. And the first track was like a rhythm guitar track. So I'm going to play you. Why is it not playing? It's happening. Okay, hold on. I've done something wrong. Hold on. Give me a second. Something happened. No, that's it. Let's see. All right, hold on. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something right now. I'm gonna do something right now. Hold on. You guys stay there. Stay right there. I gotta reboot. And I haven't even gotten to Ronnie Foster yet, so hold on. While I'm rebooting this. So Jake, what were you doing before you came to Vegas?
Oh, I'd been on the road for a couple of years with Lyle Lovett.
Oh, awesome.
And then I came to Vegas to kind of I don't know, kind of extended vacation, and I never left.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
and I think actually just directly before I got there, I'd finished a tour with the Dixie Chicks, so
Oh, man,
that's what I was doing before that. So
that's
some country
awesome.
music or country rock, yeah.
Wow. So you were a busy man. You were a busy man.
Yeah, okay. I've been lucky that way. I keep busy.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Something happened here that my system changed for a minute. So we're gonna keep talking for a second while I figure this out. So we're gonna move to Ronnie Foster, who is one of the most amazing musicians I've ever had the pleasure of knowing and playing with. Ronnie has played with everyone from Stevie Wonder to George Benson. He's recorded on so many different records, and he was mentored on the B3. We're talking about B3. He was mentored on the B3 by Jimmy Smith, who's like the king of all of them. How old were you when you started learning from Jimmy Smith, Ronnie?
12.
12 years old.
Wow.
I mean, right? So how did that happen, by the way? Obviously, you're from Buffalo, right?
It's a crazy story. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jimmy was coming into town, and I had never met Jimmy, but I knew the club owner. It was a club called the Royal Arms in Buffalo, which was a premier jazz club in Buffalo. And I knew the owner, and he would sneak me in and say, hey, you sit over in that corner so nobody could see you. And it just so happens that corner was right by the stage.
Okay.
And so Jimmy was coming in, so I called Joe, the club owner, and I said, hey, where's Jimmy staying? And he said, oh, he's at the so-and-so. I forgot the motel name, like on Main Street. So I called, and this was the phone call. Okay. So Jimmy answers the phone in his crazy voice. Hello? Oh, who's it? I said, Mr. Smith, this is Ronnie Foster. I'm a young organ player in Buffalo. I want you to show me something. And he says, boy, when you hear me play, you won't want to play anymore. And I said, no, Mr. Smith, really, I love to play. I love to play. Boy, you're not listening to me. When you hear me play, you're going to want to throw your organ away. And I said, no, I really. So he says, okay, what time you get out of school? I said, 3 o'clock. All right, meet me at the club. And I realized later in life that what he was doing was he wanted to know how hungry I was for knowledge, you see. He wasn't just giving it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I met him down the club, and the rest is history. And every time he was in town, I was there. He was a pathway to my history with George Benson. He introduced me to George when I was 14.
Wow.
And I started working with George when I was 15 on the weekend. So yeah, I owe him everything, and I miss him to the day. And he is the king. There is no other, period.
He's
No
the
argument.
king.
That's right.
He's the king.
Yeah.
All right. Having some issues here with I don't know what just happened, but I lost my audio for all the songs.
Oh wow.
Right on.
All right.
All right, let's go back to man, hopefully okay, we're back now. Everybody looks like everybody's coming back. Thank you guys for hanging on. I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to talking about these tracks and showing everybody how great you guys are. So we heard a little bit of Roche's bass. So then we're going to start talking about the guitar tracks. So Jake gave me this rhythm guitar track. Which, man, it's perfect because for the vibe, Like that's exactly. So Jake, tell me the inspiration for that awesome sort of real simple but perfect guitar part.
Well, I think we played that tune a couple of times in
That's right.
together, and
That's right.
so I just tried to kind of recreate that. It would try to make it sound as live as possible, right? And I think we did that when you just played the track. I haven't heard the final mix until you played it, and I think that even though we were all in our separate little places, it has a real live
Yep.
feel. So when you sent me the track, I just you kind of try to improvise a rhythm part that you would imagine that you would play if you were live in a club or in a concert. Because to me, that's how that tune sounds, right? So the variations that happen when you're improvising a rhythm track like that kind of make it a little exciting, and then when everyone else kind of improvises their part, you actually sound like a live band. So that's
Yeah.
that's, and I would say the inspiration for all of that track would probably be, like all the stuff that Cornell Dupree played on all that Atlantic soul stuff, from Aretha and Donny Hathaway and all that stuff. So that's sort of where I come from that.
That's awesome. Well, and then you sent this lead track, and it was awesome because the email said, "Here's the lead track. It's 90% too much." So,
yep.
So you were like, just, cut out what you need to cut out and leave what you want to leave. And so I just took and based on
I have to interrupt one thing.
Yeah.
Normally I wouldn't do that, but I had so much fun playing. I just couldn't stop myself. So I was like, you know what? Someone else is gonna have to cut that stuff out because I'm just having a really fun. I think it was probably first, take through. I was like, it was really fun. So and I don't think Ronnie had put the organ track down yet, so I wasn't quite. It was pretty much wide open. I had an open field to, do whatever I felt like. So it was fun.
This is the intro. We'll just take a listen to Jake's 2 guitar tracks. And it goes on from there. So when he gave me the track, it was pretty much filled up. There were like licks pretty much everywhere, and I had to pick the ones I thought again complemented the lead vocal in between, and then also taking into account the B3 once I got Ronnie's B3 track back, which goes like this, which I have to say, Ronnie sent me the track back, and of course it was amazing. And I said, "Hey Ronnie, can you do something for me on the second verse? Can you give it a little more brighter sound and blah blah blah?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you another track." He goes, "I was just trying to kind of build it." And he was right. I ended up using the first track. And so your instincts were perfect. So here's the B3. Here's the intro. Know what I'm saying? I mean, so let's listen to.
Oh yeah.
Right? So this is okay, this is the bass, B3, and Jake's guitar. Just these 3 guys on the intro. So when I got all 3 of these back, 4 tracks really, because there's 2 guitar tracks, I realized, all right, I need to redo my piano because it was way busier than it is now. All I got to do is stay out of the way of these guys. So I went back, so the intro, my piano was originally much busier, and it became this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I kind of made Whirly a little more of the focus. Because I felt that was more of the vibe. Right.
Yeah.
So
It's funny about music, isn't it? Music
Yeah.
tells you what it wants.
right. That's a great way to put it, because I had a certain thing in my head that, okay, it's going to be like this, but then once you guys put your awesome sauce on it, and I got that back, okay, oh, this is great. So I'm going to adjust because this is better, right? So for me, okay, the piano, less is more. Less is more. And I learned something a long, long time ago, is that the best music comes when you let musicians do what they do best. Let them play. So like the last thing I was going to do was dictate to the three of you what I thought. I'm like, here it is, put what you think is best on it, right? And that's what happened. You guys gave me back this amazing track. So my task was figuring out the lead vocal, where I was going to kind of bring up the organ, bring the guitars in and out, right, through the lead vocal. So I knew the first verse had to be sparse, right? Just the first chorus. I mean, come on with that lick.
Sink your hand in slow. Raise the cool water to your lips. Watch the ripples grow. The more you give, the more you get. A never-ending stream.
Right, so everything's pretty complimentary right now. No one's kind of like, sticking out. No one's trying to like.
Never gonna change. It's always the answer. Because love
Then we had some backgrounds.
will conquer all.
So then in the bridge was really I needed some backgrounds.
Can't be found. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Down to the Love will conquer all.
And then at the end, it was kind of time for Ronnie to play a little bit.
Hey.
Say what? What? Hold on. Let's hear that little lick again. Hold on. Come on now. I mean, just the three of you.
Take a drink from the water.
And then it's Ronnie solo, little guitar. Right? So, I mean,
That's grooving, man.
right? I mean, the truth is, with you guys on that, I mean, it made the whole thing so much easier. And it's interesting. I haven't really listened to these mixes. You know, when you do an album, it takes you a minute. You kind of got to step away from it. And there's always things you would change. You know, as I listen to these over and over again, man, the guitar should have been a little louder there. I should have brought the whirly down. But the three of you, man, brought this thing to life. It's order of magnitudes above what it would have been without you guys. So I got.
It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened without you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, it's a great tune, no matter what. So the foundation is strong. Whatever is built upon that, I mean, it's a great tune. So
I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate you guys coming on. Love the three of you so much, and I hope that we get to now, Roche. We get to see each other and play music, right? Every week.
Yeah.
We've been doing live streams with Santa Fe. Jake and Ronnie, I hope at some point in the future we get to make some music again.
we will.
I appreciate you gracing my album. All right, you guys.
Well, congrats, man.
All right.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you,
Nice to
man.
see you guys.
You too. Later.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah. Woohoo! All right. I'm so glad we're back. I'm glad you guys are sticking with me. All right. The next song, we are moving on. We're going to bring on in just a minute. We're going to bring on Mr. Michael Cavanaugh, one of my best friends, and someone I get to work with quite a bit. Not now, but this song is called "This Love Is Like Water." It goes like this.
When it's good, it's like a deep, warm ocean of love sent down from heaven. It's a raindrop blooming into a rainbow. It's perfection. But then the pressure rises and things heat up. Something sets us off and tempers bubble up. Then we kiss and make up and the whole thing starts again. This love is like water, up and down like the waves. Hot and cold, ice and steam, it never stays the same. Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide. This love is like water. We float up to the clouds just to crawl through the mud time after time. Maybe love really is bigger than everything. It really is blind. We climb aboard and head out to sea, knowing all too well how rough it's gonna be, and end up swimming back to that sandy beach in the sun. This love is like water, up and down like the waves. Hot and cold, ice and steam, it never stays the same, never stays the same. Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide. This love is like water. Leaving you is unthinkable. Oh, you're so irresistible. We play this game of push and pull. Oh, but deep is unsinkable. Oh, this love is like water, up and down like the waves. Oh, hot and cold, ice and steam, it never stays the same. Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream, but it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide. This love is like water, up and down like the waves. Hot and cold, ice and steam, it never stays the same. Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream, then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide. This love is like water. This love is like water.
All right. That is This Love is Like Water. And everybody say hello to Mr. Michael Cavanaugh.
Am I here?
You're
I'm
here.
Wow. Cool.
Oh, man.
It works.
So I got to tell you guys, most of you know who, wait a minute, no. Most of you know who that guy is.
Oh, you're following the right way. Good for you.
That's right, who this guy is. But if you don't, Michael Cavanaugh was the star of the Broadway show Moving Out on Broadway. It was a musical based on all the songs of Billy Joel, and he was handpicked by Billy Joel for the role. And on top of being amazingly talented, he's one of the nicest guys in the world. That's the truth.
No way.
And it's true. It's true. And I want my $50 for that after the show.
You got it.
So the other thing is that he's kind of a technical nerd like me. Yeah, he's kind of a geek. And so he texted me when the whole thing started to go south, and he goes, "I think it happened because of this." And he was right. So I'm scared to change the window layout, Mike. But
I don't blame you.
how do I get the screen? How do I get my screen back on?
Well, you know, if
I screen share, if I hit it,
if you hover over the window, and then you see at the top where there's a monitor in the middle,
yeah, click that,
click that.
and it's there. But now I don't see you.
Now you don't see me. Okay, so your screen sharing thing is different now.
See?
Well,
That's okay.
yeah, you have some sort of different setting. Now, if you go up there and click it again, what happens?
If I click it
All right,
again,
so you go, so go back and forth. That's cool.
yeah, I can go back
Right.
and forth.
You people have seen me before. You know what I look like.
That's right. So we're
You've
gonna
seen the
start.
Star Wars shirt.
We're gonna start to get into this tune. So this song, I wrote this song several years ago, and my first version of this song was very, very different. It was real. It was kind of. It was more heavy. It was real heavy with a lot of almost industrial sounds, almost like kind of like an Imagine Dragons thing. You heard that, right, Mike? That version of this song?
You know, I think so. I think on an airplane years ago, flying
Yeah.
somewhere.
And when I decided to do it for this record, I wanted this record to have that kind of late 70s kind of vibe. So I took a totally different approach. And so, again, it started with piano and drums. And it really started, the whole song started with this motif. Let me back it up a little. It started with this whole little musical motif. That was the whole birth of the tune. And I put a piano track down, and then the drums, just really simple. Simple
My favorite
groove,
kind of drums. Simple.
right? And originally I had acoustic piano, and I switched to Whirly because I thought that was more appropriate. So I had that, and then I put a bass down.
And I like your bass.
It sounds okay, right?
When you boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's cool.
And I put this down. Put acoustic
Nice.
guitar down. It's basically two. I played it once, I put it on the left, I played it a second time, and put it onto the right. So,
That's great.
and then I called Mike. I was like, Mike, do you want to do some guitars on this? And really, the only thing I knew that I wanted, I needed this, the main hook, I needed that on guitar. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to play it really very good. And here's what Mike did, and it's like so perfect. Check it out. No, that's not it.
That was
It
you.
goes like this. It's like, that's perfect. That's perfect. And then,
Thank you, sir.
man, so then,
But as soon as I heard you play it on the whirly, I was like, I bet he's gonna want me to do that on the guitar.
you
'Cause
knew
you
it.
sent me the song, and before I played anything, I just listened to the song for like 3 days,
Okay.
long enough for me to come up with too many ideas.
You told me you had a lot of ideas, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this was the first time that you had really played guitar on somebody else's tune, right? In a while, anyways. Not the first time, but in a
No,
while.
I did years ago. Yeah.
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 Not the first time in your life, but so then you gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You gave me a total of 7 tracks, right? Two of
I
them
might have done that. Yeah.
2 of them were that lead line, but I'm gonna go through these. I'm gonna go through these tracks because they all of them really complemented the tune. So this is the second verse coming up. Maybe I'll play the whirly and a little bit of vocal so you guys know where we are.
We float up to the clouds.
It's a nice rhythm track.
Just keeping it, you know. I like the kind of the answer thing, you know. Doom, boom, down.
Yeah.
I'm big into that.
Yep. And then he did this awesome thing on the chorus. That strum thing was just awesome.
Oh, thanks,
Perfect.
man.
And then when we come up to the bridge, we get the first instance of the noodle track, which again is kind of like lead lines coming in and out of the vocal, right? So that comes
I was
in.
trying to stay out of the way of the vocal.
Yep. And then when we get to the bridge, I'm going to solo the 2 tracks that he did on the bridge. So on the right, there's one on the left and one on the right. So this is coming up. And I don't remember if you had the phaser on or I added the phaser.
I think you did, but I like it.
I think I might have. Then it's back into the intro again. Oh, this love is like some leads.
There's my answer thing, you know. I'm so into it.
It's great. See, that's the whole thing. It's all tasty, and it.
I might have been thinking about the guitar like on Crosby, Stills and Nash, the one about where they're in the boat.
Okay. Oh.
Southern
oh.
Cross. I might have been thinking
So-
about that at the end a little bit. You know
It's
those guitar riffs at the end?
It's all super tasty stuff that again complements the song, and it complements the vocal, because when I got those tracks back and kind of assembled them to a degree, I had a much better idea of what I was going to do with the backgrounds. And a couple things that I did with the backgrounds, like I did a couple normal things, like I doubled some of the lead vocal. Let me play some of the backgrounds. So the first time the backgrounds enter is water. Just that word. This love is like water.
Yeah.
And then so that's the first chorus. Let me put the lead vocal in for some context.
Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide. This love is like water.
And then on the second verse, the second chorus, I built the backgrounds a little bit
Oh, it's
thicker.
calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide.
So it's-
This love is like water. Leaving you is
And then when I got to the third chorus, I took the backgrounds and I built them further.
It's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen.
I like how they're still subtle, though. You're building more,
Right.
but they're still subtle.
Right. That was kind of the point.
Down like the waves.
So we finally get to sort of the highest point of the tune.
Oh, it's calm, it's clear, gentle as a stream. Then it's a raging river faster than you've ever seen. Back and forth like the tide.
So that's probably the thickest background line right at the end.
Back and forth like the tide.
That one line,
That's cool.
really took me a long time to figure out.
Calm, clear, gentle as a stream. Back and forth like the tide.
It took me a long time to actually figure that out. And the other problem I had was I recorded this part. And then I had these on separate tracks.
Calm, clear, gentle as a stream.
And believe it or not, they had to have completely different EQ settings on them because they were not, it's just the vowels and the syllables, they were not coming across right. So it took me a while to blend those. But I
Well,
really,
it's impressive to have all that going on and not have it fight each other. That's impressive.
it took me a while to kind of have that, right? But your guitar tracks, they sat exactly where they needed to. And all I had to do was do it like a little automation to bring up some of those lead lines here and there. But the thing about it is when you got a tone, like your tone here, those are two really almost opposite sounds, right? You got
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
of a clean sound on the right, a little bit dirtier on the left.
Yep. That's the only part where the dirt comes in, really, is on the
Right.
Yeah.
But man, it works so well. And this sound right here, which I would not have thought of, is so perfect. That sound on the chorus, I was like, well, that's brilliant. That's perfect. I don't know where you got that
thanks.
idea.
It just, I heard it in my head, man. I heard it.
Mike hears things in
I'm
his
like,
head.
I gotta dial up some sort of tremolo thingy. So I had to look for the tremolo thingy, and I found it.
And by the way, here's the separate, here's the two tracks on the lead. That's the first one.
Slinky.
And then, and so I mixed them together and I added some nice little reverb. And what's the guitar you played for that? Is that the Blue Strat?
No, I played the Telly.
That's the Telly.
It's the Telly. Yeah, you know, I was a lot of guitars, so I was grabbing them, trying them all, and I expected to play the Strat. And I was playing it on the neck pickup. So on a neck pickup, they can all sound similar, but for some reason that one. And then on the dirt stuff, I played that Orange Sunburst Les Paul.
The Les Paul. So it was the Les Paul, and everything else was the Tele.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Man, that's weird. Well, it sounds great, man. And
Thanks,
and
man.
you used plugins for the sound?
I did. I'm trying to remember which ones.
Was it
I know I used,
Scuffham?
I know I used Scuffham amps, the S Gear that I tell everybody about. That really sounds great. What's great is that it sounds good on the clean stuff. A lot of the stuff sounds fine if you put all kinds of crazy distortion. And I might have used a Logic plugin too. I don't know, but it was mainly the Scuffam amps.
We're really a couple of nerds, you guys. If that's not coming clear, we're a bunch of nerds. And I have to say, you guys, I have to tell you, Michael spent literally like 2 days with me trying to figure this technology out, because this is a new program that I'm using. I'd never used it before. And with the guests, Mike said there's a new feature in Ecamm that allows you to bring guests in the interview. Well, it wasn't quite working for me right, and he hours and hours helping me put it together. So
that's all right, because you spent hours and hours with me when we first started doing live streaming, because he streamed before I did, and he spent the same amount of time with me getting it to work.
All right.
You know what I can't get out of my head? I know we're talking about the other song, but
yeah, that's good.
I can't get out of my head.
That's good. Well, Michael, I got to thank you so much for your contribution to the record.
Dude, for sure.
We gotta start writing again together, and let's do some tunes.
We have a couple incomplete things that we started that have life to them.
Yes, that we got to finish.
Remember them.
That we got to finish. All right, my brother, I appreciate that. I will talk to you soon, and we're gonna go on to the next tune. Thank you, Michael.
Awesome. Yeah, man. See you later.
All right. We are moving on to a song called Fade Away. So I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Peterson to click on that link to join the broadcast, and we're going to play this song that I co-wrote with Michael Peterson called Fade Away. Ooh, let's play the beginning of it though. How about that? That's not the beginning either.
I'm just a memory, buried like a thief in a graveyard. You dug this hole deep, desperate to keep me out of sight, out of mind, hoping in time that I just fade away. Like old photos in the cardboard box, down from your grandma's attic, time forgot. But I am not just gonna fade away. Like it never happened, wish I could. Just a finger snapping, off I'd go. But we both know I won't just fade away. Like rain on dying leaves, each time you think of me, tears start falling. Feels like the hurt just happened, and whispering in your ear, paralyzing fear says you are trapped once again with no defense. I'm not sure how to fade away. Like it never happened, wish I could. Just a finger snapping, off we'd go. But we both know I won't just fade away. Truth is, this was not your fault. Can we agree this is no way to live? forgiveness, forgiveness. Help me fade away. Help me fade away. Help me fade away. Listen to your love. Oh Lord, I want to fade away. Help me fade away. Let me go. Let me go. Forgive yourself. Fade away. All I want to do is fade away.
Ooh, that's Fade Away. Man, that song chokes me up. I'm going to bring in my co-writer, Mr. Michael Peterson. How you doing, buddy?
I am good, man.
Man.
Thanks for including me.
Are you kidding me? Let me tell you, you guys, okay, let me tell you about this guy right here. He's a bona fide country superstar. He's had #1 songs as an artist, Michael Peterson. You guys might remember the song Drink, Swear, Steal, and Lie. It was a big hit, 90, what year, Michael? 97. And he's had, as an artist and a writer, how many? 17? 13? 13.
Yeah.
13 #1 songs.
Around the world, and 3 in the U.S., and then the rest or 4 in the U.S., and then the rest have been on charts, different charts in different countries.
13. Well, that's 13 more than me.
Well,
Listen, okay, so let's talk about how we wrote this song.
yeah.
Michael and I met a couple of years ago, right? Maybe.
Yeah, we met. I first saw you play with Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns when you guys were at the Palm.
Okay, so
And
yeah,
we,
right.
We met
That's right.
very briefly that night, and
That's
then a couple of years ago, I asked you if you would join me for a gig that I had, a corporate gig at Bally's, and so we got to know each other a little bit. And
Yeah.
I fell in love right away with your talent.
Oh
and,
man.
And really discovered, after I discovered your talent, I discovered what a great person you are. So, and what a creative guy. So just thrilled for you about your record. It's a fantastic record. And
Thanks, Michael.
for having me on.
Well, so we got together. Michael and I got together, and I was kind of playing in some of the things that I'd written, and there was this one song that I had, and the title of the song was called "Sooner or Later," and I thought, well, it's okay. It's a pretty good song, And Michael heard it, and he goes, "Hey, Jamie, that's really nice." He goes, and I said to him, I said to Michael, I said, I feel like it's not quite there. I feel like it's good, but and the subject matter is unique. But would you offer some comments, And Michael was very, very nice to not offer any. He's like, "Are you asking me to give you some, not critique's not the right word, but some suggestions, right?" And so that whole thing started essentially really kind of rewriting the whole song. Some of the melodies stayed the same for the verse, but it was really a kind of a rewrite from top to bottom, and took the song from if the song was this good, it just elevated it. Michael's tenacity for not giving up on a lyric, and not being content to say, "I think it's done." He's like, I think we can get better. I think we can do better. And that's why he has 13 #1. That's why he has 13 #1 songs. So he'd come here right in this room, and we'd get together every once in a while and Every once in a while, we'd start texting back and forth if we like had an idea, and there'd be a text thread going for a couple hours.
Four in the morning. Hey, wait a minute.
Right. And this song, you know, I think it's unique in that we're coming from the persona of some sort of trauma that the singer has, and we don't know what the trauma is. We don't know if it's a relationship gone bad. We don't know if it's maybe, you know, it could be any deep rooted trauma that somebody has in their life. And, you know, we all have this thing where we like to bury things deep down inside and not really deal with it, right? We think we're fine with that. I've dealt with it. I'm over it. When, you know what? Maybe it's going to start bubbling up to the surface, right? And it's going to get worse. So that's what this lyric is about. And it's the trauma and the hurt and the pain that's actually the singer. And Michael, I don't know, do you want to offer a viewpoint on how, you know, it was tough, right? It was tough to write from that point of view.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on. And, you know, my recollections of this lyric, just strictly from my perspective, was right away, I knew there was something really deep and important that you were hoping to say. And, you know, I kept thinking about a great quote from Stanley Kubrick, the film director. And they asked him after Full Metal Jacket was finished, asked him, you know, how did he know that he had accomplished what he set out to do? And his response was, he said he knew that he had accomplished what he set out to do because the feeling he had after he saw the movie was the same feeling he had when he first had the idea. So when I heard this idea of yours, and I could feel, I felt something inside of me, like there was something really important. It was really important to you,
Mm-hmm.
that you wanted to say something, but you weren't exactly necessarily sure. This is how it hit me. I'm not saying this is the truth, just how it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Was that you weren't sure, because we were still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Pretty new relationship.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure that you were necessarily feeling ready to be that vulnerable with me or with anybody.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I'm not saying that song's about you or anything like that. I'm just saying I sort of had this feeling like there was something really important that needed to be said. And the feeling in me was so strong. And that quote from Stanley Kubrick guided me anyway in my commitment to wanting to make sure that when we got done with the song, that it would give you the same feeling you had when you first had the idea.
Well,
and when we finished, and you and I saw the look on your face, and we looked at each other, we said, "Yeah, I think it's finally there." It felt complete.
Yeah.
The other thing is, this song is a super, super intimate conversation that I think most of us, if we're honest with ourselves, probably has occasionally with something that happened either to us or in us. This conversation that we have with our inner voice.
Mm-hmm.
And the inner voice is sometimes personified as the voice of the hurt. These are all things that are unspoken.
Right.
So the real challenge of this is to find a way to say what is more often than not left unspoken.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think this is a really special piece of music because it accomplishes in a artful, really well-crafted, super intimate way. It accomplishes all of those things, and it never makes me. I never, when I listen to the song, I never feel like I pause to look at the lyric.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really lost in the feeling of it.
Yeah.
And your performance of it was just beautiful and right on the money, man. And you really captured it. I listened to it this afternoon on the way to an appointment, and I really got kind of choked up. And you know, the other thing I want to say is I listened to your whole record again today, and this is a very different kind of song than any other song on your album.
Yep.
a production standpoint,
Yep.
from a vibe standpoint.
Yep.
And in a way, it's almost like, well, does that song belong on this record? But I liked it because it was a nice change of pace.
Right.
So anyway,
Right. Well,
this is proof positive that if you get me started to talk, you won't have any room for you to talk. So I'll shut up now.
I love it, man. I'm honored to have you here. You know, regarding the vocal performance, when we finally had the song finished, Michael came over. He brought his nylon string guitar, and he said, "Well, let's put it down. You know, let's put it down." So we got a tempo, and I think what we did is we put a mic on the guitar and we plugged it in as well, because this guitar's got a nice pickup on it. And so we recorded that first pass, and he did a double. We did a second guitar, and then he added a third. We'll go through some of those, and then he did a vocal on it. And Michael's
It was just our work tape, right?
That was kind of like our demo, right?
Yeah, yeah. Right.
But Michael is such a great singer and has a great sense of phrasing and dynamics. And his demo version of that was really what I used to do my vocal. I kind of stole his phrasings and I mean, really, because it's the thing about that song is it sits in a vocal range which is tough to sing in a softer tone. So it was a little bit challenging, but it's not a song you just want to belt out.
No, it's like a whisper almost. It's like It's like a voice in your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's beautiful, man.
So, all right, let's get into some of these tracks. So here's what we did. So the first guitar track is this. This is the mic. And somebody commented, "Hey, it's got a little bit of a Dust in the Wind vibe." Yeah, that kind of does.
Yeah.
Now, we took that and here's the DI. This is a direct cable coming out of his guitar. That's how that sounds. And we ended up, so when it was time to mix, I just blended those two. So a little mic, a little of the direct. And they both kind of complement each other. And then, so when the chorus comes in, there's a second guitar that comes in. So you get this nice, beautiful.
It's like a Gordon Lightfoot thing almost.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Like
that's
Jim Croce.
it's right. It's a beautiful sounding nylon string guitar that you have that worked so well for this song. And then, as the song went on, you brought in a third guitar toward the end, which is really, really nice.
Get a little low end thing.
Which here, let me solo the third. And it's right in the middle.
They're rounded it out.
Yeah. So when that's kind of like snuck in the mix, it's great. So instrumentally, all that I did, anything that I did was just to really stay out of the way of those guitars. The first thing that I did was I just put a little shaker.
It gives a little heartbeat.
Yep. And I added a little Wurlitzer.
I think the Wurlitzer adds a ton to the vibe. It just gives color.
Right?
It's so simple too.
And then acoustic piano in the
Just right.
chorus. Just in the second chorus.
Yeah, it's like a waves.
Right. Right. And they all kind of work together. And then the other big thing we did was Michael had this idea for the backgrounds, for the fadeaway. So he put down, it was maybe 3 or 4 of these. No, that's with the both of us.
Yeah.
I added a couple, and there was some nice long ones.
Yeah.
And then when we kind of added, let me get the final one where we had some verb. No, it's here. Where's the verb? Mm-hmm. I think it's here. It just gave it this nice lush.
But it's also, it gives it that the space, like almost a mystical thing, like that inner voice. It just really captured it sonically.
And then the other wonderful thing that you came up with was this. You had this idea for this motif and this lyric at the end. Listen to your life.
Yeah.
Which,
that melody for that came about, like maybe a session or two before we finalized. I started hearing this counter melody, da 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 da.
Right.
And it's like, well, what is that? So we tucked it away.
Yep.
And then when we got towards the end, it was like, oh. And I just happened to be listening to or reading this book called "Listen to Your Life," and I thought, huh.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
It's by a guy named Frederick Buechner. It's a fantastic book, and I just thought, wow, this is exactly what he's talking about in the book. It's like, listen to your life.
Right.
So when you hear this at the end, it's like it really puts. It's almost like the song says, okay, now that we've talked about it and brought it all out, here's what I want you to do.
Right.
Just listen to your life.
Listen to your life, and that's so.
Listen to your life. Oh Lord, I want to.
And then there's the fadeaways. Come in.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Let me go.
Right.
Let me go.
So that's, so there was very little that I needed to do instrumentally after Michael had the guitars. It's a little shaker, a little whirly, a little acoustic piano. All that was left was, for me to put my vocal on and get a good mix. And
well, your vocal and the Wurlitzer, that's the piece that makes it sound like the rest of the record.
Right.
Right. Other than that, it's just very, very different.
Very different.
But it's a good enough clue. I mean, it's perfect.
Oh, it's one of my favorites for sure.
Mine too.
And I think emotionally, really, we kind of hit it emotionally, what the original concept that I had for the record, because it still chokes me up.
Me too. One of my dear friends, Rick Barron. Rick's a great songwriter, was a staff writer for Warner Brothers for 10, 12 years. One of my favorite singer-songwriters. And I sent a copy of this to him. And he said it floored him and his wife. They were stunned by the lyric and by the feeling of the record. It's just nice, when people that are your peers, whose opinion you really respect. But it went beyond him like digging the record. It really hit him personally, emotionally. And I think, like you said earlier, like we never really say what it's about, but that's what makes it you. So anybody can hear it and go, wow, they've been reading.
Because, look, everybody's had traumas in their life. It doesn't have to be a gigantic thing. It could be a gigantic thing. People have had gigantic traumas in their lives, right? But everybody's had something. And most people have had things that they've tried to bury within somewhere within their, things. And so this song is about, okay, admitting that this happened, admitting that it hurts, and admitting that I need to get over it. And what is that? Is it forgiveness? Right? Maybe it's about forgiveness. Maybe it's about, admitting to myself that it's still there, right? Is the first.
Yeah, and it's a process. That's the
Yeah.
other thing I get about this song is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it takes us from I'm just a memory buried like a thief in the
Right.
backyard,
Right.
or
Right.
in a graveyard.
In a
excuse me.
graveyard. Yeah.
That it goes from that to the end of the voice saying, "Help me,
Right.
help me,"
Right.
to fade away.
The trauma is actually
So
saying,
it's so
I
much the
want to, right.
process.
I want to get away. I want to go. You won't let me go.
Yeah.
Right. That's what it's
Yeah.
saying. So,
Yeah.
And we don't, like we talked about this, we don't provide the solution. We really kind of don't. We just say, look, this is what it is. But,
Which is right, because you can't really ever give the solution for somebody else. Like, we all find our way.
that's right.
And that's part of the grace of this song, I think, is that it reminds me anyway, that we all have to find our way. And
Right.
it's a little bit at a time sometimes. It's a grain of sand upon a grain of sand sometimes.
That's awesome. Hey, by the way, tell everybody what you're up to. You've got like a cool show you're doing.
Well, thanks to Patty and Paul Malloy
Yeah.
on Positive Listening Radio. Every Thursday night I have a show called Funny You Should Ask, and it's at positivelisteningradio.com. It's on every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, but you can also stream it on demand anytime you want. And it's an hour of comedy, hits, classic hits from all genres, touches of inspiration, and it's just a nice, upbeat way to laugh a little bit, hear some songs that you loved and remembered, haven't heard in a while, and maybe just have a little touch of something that'll get you through the week.
Awesome.
Thanks
Man,
for asking.
Michael Peterson, you're the best. And I tell you what, I hope we have a lot more songs to write together.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay. Thank you, man. God bless you.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ah, that was so cool. That was so cool. All right. We're getting close to the end. I'm glad you guys are sticking with me. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for doing this. Nikki Logan says, Fade Away is my fave. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to ask Chris Brady to come on in. And Dave Inamine is here. And I'm going to ask Jerry Jones to come back. I hope you're still hanging in there with me. This is a song called Beautiful Day. It goes like this.
I know you're feeling the pressure. The world is getting you down. You're seeing nothing but sorrow. Your head is spinning around. Well, just take a deep breath. Hang on. Take a minute and forget all about the pain. Smile a little stronger. Laugh a little longer. Just put your worries away. Sing your favorite song if you want to dance along. 'Cause it's a beautiful day. I know it ain't always easy. Sometimes it feels like a grind. But things can always get better. It starts by changing your mind. Now don't you be sad now. Step back. Take a minute. 'Cause it's all gonna be alright. Laugh a little longer. Just put your worries away. Sing your favorite song if you want to dance along. 'Cause it's a beautiful day. will astound you. Good times are coming your way. Life is just a song. Come on and sing along, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Just go ahead and ignore things and put your head down in the sand. For today, run away from your problems. Go and live in a fantasy land. Oh, just make the most of this moment. It's easy if you try. It's time to stop and smell the roses. Kiss the darkness goodbye. Smile a little stronger, laugh a little longer. Just put your worries away. Sing your favorite song. Come on and dance along, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Yeah. Take a look around you. The world, it will astound you. Good times are coming your way. Life is just a song. Come on and sing along, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day.
That's a beautiful day. And all right, right now I'm going to bring back Dave Inamine, who played bass on this song. Are you here? Come on, Dave. I'm going to bring back Jerry Jones. There's Jerry.
Hey, hey.
Where's Dave? And I am going to introduce Mr. Christian Brady.
Hey,
Christian!
Jerry, how you doing, man? Look at that beer. That is awesome. Dude.
I'm trying to be like Leland Sklar, that great bass player.
I like
you know,
it.
The long
I like
beard.
it. Yeah,
Trying
for
to-
sure.
I'm trying to get Dave Inamine in here. Dave, do you hear me? Maybe he doesn't hear me. Dave, sign back in. Maybe we lost his connection. Hopefully he'll come back. Okay, so we've met Jerry Jones. We're going to talk in a little bit about this song. There, David's back. Here, let's see. There we go. Hey, Dave, you're back.
There he is.
All
I'm
right.
back.
Awesome.
Hey, Dave.
Okay, so Chris Brady, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, for those of you,
I gotta tell you, Jamie, real quick, man. This record is fantastic, bro. I'm really
thank you.
Really proud of what you did here, man. It's amazing. You got a great record here, and everybody that contributed to it is amazing also. So congratulations, and I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Well, Chris and I have known each other, man, how many years? It's been quite a while. Probably
A while
at
now.
least 10 years, right?
Yeah, about that. It's probably about right.
The first time we worked together was we were in Frankie Perez's band.
Correct.
Frankie Perez and the Truth. And we were working at the Palms, and we'd do Red Rock. And it was kind of a new band that Frankie put together. And man, after about, maybe 2 months, that band started to gel and really became a kick-ass rock band.
Well, we had a lot of time together as well when we were doing that project with him in L.A., right?
Right.
So we were in L.A. all week, and we were recording and writing and all of that stuff, and I think that really just brought it all together even more, you know? So that was a special time, man. That was one of my favorite times.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. And before that, I mean, you've done the gamut. You've been in top 40 bands. You've been in disco bands, in rock bands, and like you've kind of done it all.
A lot of different styles.
But for the last several years, you've been playing guitar in a band called Hell Yeah, which was formed by the late great Vinnie Paul, who Vinnie Paul was the drummer in a band called Pantera, which I'm sure you guys remember that great heavy rock band. And you know, Vinny passed, geez, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Hell Yeah is still going, right? You guys released a record?
We did. We put an album out last year that was actually Vinny's last work. He had finished all of his drum parts before he left us. So we had to go in after that, of course, and finish the record. But we did it. We knew we had to. It was his last piece of his legacy, and we felt, you know, really a responsibility to do that. So we did it, and we tried to make it the best we could to honor him and the band and the legacy of what he was and is, and you know.
The thing that strikes me and struck me so much about Vinny is that, you know, he's known as this heavy rock drummer, right, from all these different bands. But man, he would come out and see everybody in Vegas. He would see everybody, and he was the nicest guy. He'd come up, hey, give you a big hug. How you doing? You know, he was just this nice, happy guy to be around, you know?
He was the real deal, man. He was the real deal.
Yeah.
And he was just a fan of music and a fan of good music. And if it was good, he would come. I mean, you remember when he started coming to see us, I had met him, introduced by a mutual friend. He asked me what else I did. I told him, you know, I play with Frankie Perez at the Palms, and he's like, all right, I'll be there this Sunday. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, and he was in with 8 or 9 people that first Sunday, and he was there every week.
That's
every
right.
week if he was in town.
That's right.
Yeah,
amazing. Man. So, all right, this song, Beautiful Day, co-wrote with Jerry Jones, and
great tune, man.
Thank you. It's it's a fun tune. And I believe the inception of this song, I was talking to Jerry about this earlier today, because a lot of times we kind of forget, how did these songs get born? And Jerry, you said, so I had sort of like a bit of a foundation with this. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had the skeleton, the shell of the song there. The vibe, the feel, changes. You had pretty much there. You even had a snippet of lines here and there too.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then I laid it on you. And you sent back, I think you sent back a whole page of lyrics, basically.
I just fleshed out the full thing. Basically.
And then I don't know if did we get together to finish it, or?
I think we did. We got together and we kind of tweaked here and played here, and just, you know, a word here and a word there, just like you were talking about with Michael. You know, you don't want to settle on a lyric. Yeah. It's like, well, let's wait. Let's make this better. And it all came together. This is one of the happiest feel-good melodies and songs that I'd ever come across. And I just knew the song just had to exude just positivity and fun and light, especially where we are right now in the world. Yeah. There's no better time for a song like this.
Well, the one thing I knew when I was even doing like the demo of this is I had this feeling in my head, like, I want this to be sort of like the new Welcome Back Kotter theme. You guys remember Welcome Back Kotter? Welcome back. Of course. Dreams were you. That's kind of what I had in my head. And so that's what sparked this whole thing here with, you know, with the kick. That was the whole vibe, right? And then, right? So then I knew I wanted this kind of weird upright piano sound that comes in at the top. Right? So I knew I wanted that. I knew I wanted some Rhodes, and I did a really bad acoustic guitar track. I couldn't quite. I mean, it's real sloppy. I mean, when I listened to it, I was like, oh, geez, I can't put this on the record. So I called Chris. I'm like, Chris, hey, man, I need an acoustic track. He's like, oh, of course, man. I was like, you know, he's like, send me the track. I'll do it. And so I sent it to him, and man, he just nailed it. Like, it was so easy for him.
Thanks, man.
I mean, right? And then it comes back in. the chorus. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So then,
I was expecting to get a call. Hey, man, I need a lead part put down on this, or I need something. And nobody ever calls me to play an acoustic track, you know. And
Right.
He's like, I need an acoustic guitar,
Right.
but I'm like, well, sure.
Right. Right.
It was fun, man.
You know, and Chris, you know, hey, at the heart of it, he's another geek. He's just like, man, I just got this new interface. I got a new mic. I got a new, right? So he's like, I got to try it all out, right? So it's like, we get crazy with our gear. But so I get this guitar track, and then I listen to my bass track. I'm like, oh, geez, my bass track's a little, I need a little bit, something a little better. So I go back to Dave. I go, Dave, I'm like, how about another song? He goes, oh, yeah, send me another song, please, please. And, you know, because
Beautiful day, man. It was a beautiful day.
it was,
when I heard that. Yeah.
I remember we'd had some phone conversations, and Dave was like, man, I get up, I make some coffee, I go for a walk, I go back home, I make some more coffee, I go for another walk. You know, it's like, we didn't know what to do with ourselves. We didn't, you know, as musicians, we didn't have any gigs. Everything's been canceled. The strip's shut down. What are we going to do with ourselves? So I sent it to him, and Dave puts this perfect line down, especially on the verse. Like, check out the verse right here. It's so perfect. So the great thing is the three main elements there, because the Rhodes isn't even in yet. The three main elements: piano, guitar, and bass. Now for the first verse, I take out the acoustic, so it's just bass, vocal, claps. Right? Sorry, Chris. And the vocal, right? But the reason is because now when the chorus comes in, the guitar becomes so much more important.
Yeah.
So the chorus comes in, and now I mean, this, you could do the whole song just like this. Upright piano, guitar, bass, vocal.
Great
And
bass line, Dave. Great
It's
bass line.
Dave. It's such a
Yeah.
great bass line. The bass line is
Totally.
like.
This is,
I was going to ask you, is that the bass you used?
This is, see, when you told me, welcome back, Cotter, I figured I'd have to channel my inner Chuck Rainey.
Is that Chuck
There you
Rainey?
go.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, so to me, this is, and my friend had just sent me this mute.
Okay.
It's a,
I can't see it. Hold it up more toward your face. Let me see it. Oh, put it up. Put it in front of you like that. Oh. And that
Yeah.
goes
And
where?
so-
Where the
Okay.
bridge is?
so it goes over the bass like this,
Oh.
like the old style.
Wow.
Right?
That's awesome.
So I figured, so he had just sent it to me, and I figured, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to try this out.
That's so cool. That is so cool. So what? That's a P bass?
Yeah, P bass, and you know, it's kind of modeled after that whole, like a '57. You know.
That's awesome. See, I mean,
Nice.
look at that. Eh,
Nice,
One
man.
piece maple neck. You know.
At the heart of it, we're just
Purdy.
That's beautiful.
at the heart of it, we're all just a bunch of nerds.
Well, but
Gearheads.
the thing is, it takes somebody like you to give people a chance to like realize, you know, actually what I can do in a musical sense, right? Sure, you can own the gear, but you got to make music
Right.
out of it. You know,
How many basses do you have?
too many.
Never too many. Never too many.
Hey, Chris, how many guitars do you have?
I have no idea.
It's a lot. Okay.
A lot.
So then the other right away, I knew I wanted this instrument called the melodica on this song. A melodica it's somewhere between an accordion and a harmonica. So it has keys and you blow air into it. And here, I'm going to solo it. It sounds like this. Right? And it comes back in. Because I felt that instrument has the lightness, airiness, and the sort of fun quality. That was what this song was really all about.
Did you actually play it, or was
I
it
did.
a plug-in?
It's a cool sound.
No, I played it.
That's cool,
I actually
man.
played it. I put a mic right there and played it.
Now, Stevie Wonder used one of those on something, right? It sounds like, was it something from the 80s maybe? Or
Stevie,
it sounds like something,
I will tell
sounds like
you,
something he recorded.
it could have been. I'm not sure, but I will tell you who plays one a lot is Donald Fagen from Steely
Donald
Dan.
Fagen plays it a lot.
He, some of the stuff that sounds like it might be harmonica on a Steely Dan tune is actually melodica. And if you see him in concert, a lot of times he's got one and he has a mic attached to it, so he's wireless, and he's amazing at playing melodica.
That's cool.
He plays that all over the Nightfly.
Yeah, exactly. It's all over his Nightfly.
Yeah, okay.
Talk about a great sounding album, right? Nightfly.
I mean, if you're into
Perfection.
great sounding albums.
Yeah.
I mean,
I prefer horrible sounding albums.
I don't know. I mean, if you like that kind of thing.
So then, like, when this, I think, as the second verse comes up, I think I add a shaker like this. A very simple
Sometimes it feels like a grind.
shaker comes in. Right? And then, by then, the Rhodes makes its entrance on the second verse and just does a little bit of noodling.
It's like making a stew, man.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right?
And the Rhodes, like, I kind of wanted it a little sloppy.
Yep.
That
Gotta have that grease.
Yeah, a little greasy.
right.
For everybody listening, when someone says put some stank on it, that's what they're talking about.
That's what they're
there.
talking. Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
There's the stank.
That's it.
And then up until that point, the drums are essentially, that's it, a kick drum and a clap and this little shaker. I mean, that's it. There's no real drum kit yet. And then when we get to the bridge, we've had some backgrounds.
Beautiful day.
And then here's the bridge.
Sounds
For me,
great.
this part was very. For me, that part was very Beatle-esque. You know?
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then finally, I decided we need to like kick it up a notch. So I decided at that point, I'm going to actually add a kit. So this comes in for the last chorus. So it's added to the claps. Right, and that just kind of kicks the whole thing up a little bit at the end. So right after the bridge,
Smell the roses. Kiss the darkness goodbye.
finally we get
Smile a little
backbeat.
Laugh a little longer. Just put your worries away.
But really, the song, like, I thought about literally doing the song with bass guitar and piano, because I love this, like this sound right here, with the bass, the acoustic guitar, and the piano. That is a cool sound.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day.
And I mean, that's pretty much the whole song. I mean, I did add a little bit of delay on the vocal. So like, if you listen to the vocal, it's the lead vocal dry.
I know it ain't always easy.
I did a little delay like this.
Sometimes it feels like a grind. But things can always get better. It starts by changing your mind.
A little reverb.
Now don't you be sad now.
But that's it. That's it, man. And I really like how this track came out.
It came together so nicely.
Came together nice, man. And man, it's just like I'm telling the other guys, like when you add great players to to your stuff, it elevates it. It just takes it to another level. It's so I want to, I gotta Jerry Jones, of course, for helping me write the tune, and Dave for putting this great bass down, and Chris for the guitar track. It elevated the track so much. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Pleasure was mine.
So I thank you guys.
Beautiful.
I mean, for me, just hearing it stripped down like that, it sounds like a couple of guys on the back porch, just hanging out.
Totally.
Right. That's the feel.
And that's
having a good time.
That's the vibe. That's the total vibe I wanted. Just that whole down home kind of vibe. And
you can't hear this song and not go.
Right.
Exactly. That's
just,
get your head
happy,
bobbing.
man. It just you can't be upset when you listen to this song, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I know it's 11 p.m. on the East Coast. Sorry for all the East Coasters. We're going so long. I know. My mom and dad are watching. I know. I'm keeping you guys up late. Only one more song to go. One more song. So, yeah, that's exactly what I was going for, and you guys totally helped to bring it to life. So, thank you so much. And we got more music to make. So, you guys, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks so much for coming on. Love you guys.
Pleasure, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to
You're
you
the
soon.
best. Thank you,
Jerry, Dave, take care, man. Good to see you.
Guys, Dave, Chris,
Good seeing everybody.
Dave.
Later, Jamie. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Dave. All right, you guys, man, this is so cool. We're almost to the end of the record. Man, still have a 1 there. Let me see. Let's remove that. Okay, there we go. So the last song on the album, guys, man, thanks for hanging in with me, is my cover of Time After Time. Always been one of my favorite songs. Let's listen to it.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock ticking. Think of you, caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback to warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories. Time after sometimes you picture me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you've said. You said go slow. I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. waiting time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting time after time. Hey, yeah. Whoa. After my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside, the drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting time after time. You said go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting time after time. 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 Oh, time after time. Oh, time after time.
Time After Time, one of my all-time favorite songs. My cousin Jamie Hosmer from Texas. What's up, Jamie? He asked, when you do a cover on a CD, do you have to pay them? Yes, you have to pay. It's basically a blanket license, and it's pretty easy to get. There's a couple different services that you go through, and yes, you do need to pay. If you're only doing streaming like Spotify and all those, they do that automatically. But if you're doing like technically YouTube or CD, yes, you need to get a license. It's not hard to get a license and it doesn't cost that much. So, all right, this is going to be pretty simple. So here's what I did. Here's my Rhodes. I put 2 mics on the Rhodes right over there. And that's what it sounds like with no processing. Now, I also you can take direct cables out of the amplifier of the Rhodes. So I took 2 of those. It sounds very similar, but there's some subtle differences. And then I took both of those signals and I blended them, and I added some reverb, I added a little phasing, a little chorus, and this is what the end result was. And, you know,
lying in my bed, I hear the clock ticking. Think of you.
I just needed to get a good vocal at that point, because if it's just going to be piano and vocal, woo, okay. So,
Caught up
little
in
reverb.
circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashback to warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories.
And then really the only other thing I did this little ad lib. I just heard this thing in between the two verses. So I kind of added that, and it kind of overlapped with the other lead vocal. So I had to be on a separate track.
Whoa. After my picture fades and darkness,
That's really it.
has turned to gray, watching through in.
There's a reverb on the Rhodes. Kind of sounds cool by itself.
The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time.
And, you know, truthfully, it was tough not to want to put other instruments on this. Should I add a little pad? Should I bring in some other percussion? And at the end of the day, I was like, nope, this is it. This is it. So I got to give a big shout out, first of all, to everybody that was on this episode tonight. All the musicians and writers. This album would not be what it is without all of you, including, you know what I forgot? The string players on Paradise. Monique Olivas, violin. Jennifer Lynn on violin. Crystal Yuan on viola. Mandy Andreessen on cello. Thank you so much. You guys, amazing players. On Comfortable Shoes, the horn section, Nathan Tenoy, trombone. Danny Falcone and Gil Kaup on trumpets. Rob Mader, tenor saxophone. Eric T. Walt, baritone saxophone. And Phil Wigfall on the tenor solos. Thank you guys. And thank everybody who was on here tonight. Man, couldn't have done this without you. I got to give another shout out to Mark Downey. He mastered this album. I was going to try to get him on, and unfortunately it didn't work out, but I was going to have him kind of talk about the mastering process a little bit. Maybe we'll do that on another separate episode. But Mark Downey from Massachusetts, Western Mastering, he did an amazing job helping me craft the mixes too. But thank you, Mark. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with me. I love all the comments. Thanks for, my hanging with me for the technical difficulties. And all right, thank you so much. If you guys want to purchase a CD, if you haven't already, just go to my website, jamiehosmer.com. I will say that now it is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on iTunes. It's on all the digital streaming services. So you can go, like what I would do right now is go to Spotify and just put on the album and just put it on repeat, for the next few days. That's all. Anyways, thank you guys. I love your support. I really appreciate everything. Thank you everybody who was on the show tonight. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon on another live broadcast. Have a great night.